Hello everybody, Tommyruin here, and in this video I'm going to be going over some general tips and tricks for farming mounts, reputation, and certain items in the world of Warcraft. So first up, I'm going to talk about things that you might need before you start a farm for things like reputation, mounts, and items. First up on my list is the guild standards. To buy these items you have to be in a guild and at friendly reputation with them, and what they do is increase your reputation gains by 5% for the Banner of Corporation, 10% for the Standard of Unity, and 15% for the Battle Standard of Coordination. Now these buffs don't stack, but they also don't share a cooldown, so if for any stupid reason you lose your 15% buff, you can place down a 10% buff, and then if you're really fucking stupid and lose the 10% buff, you can then place down the 5% buff. And then hopefully you're not stupid enough to lose all three in 15 or 10 minutes, so you can't place another one down. These can be bought from the guild vendors in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and I really recommend using these in any reputation farm, especially the long ones, because the extra 10 or 15% can mean that you have to kill 1,000 or 2,000 less mobs to get the grind done, so it really does make a difference in the long run. Now next up on my list I have the Arang, and this is a very useful item, probably the best thing to come out of Warlords of Draenor, and that is not an understatement in the slightest, because it means you can be lazy when you are farming. You can keybind this to a button on your keyboard or your mouse, and because of the new AoE looting system, you can loot all of the mobs in a nearby vicinity from just one button press, which is amazing. It means you don't have to target and right click and then click everything. If you basically combine this with auto loot, you are good to go. So next up, Arang. Then I've got some add-ons. I've got Gathermate 2 and Gathermate Database. I will put links to these in the description. These are basically add-ons which show you the location of certain items on your map, so that could be the Netherwing eggs or the Onyx eggs for the Cloud Serpent rep, things like that, which are very hard to find, and these help you find them a lot easier and quicker. And then I have Cross Realm Assist or Realm Hop. These add-ons basically help you phase into a different server and can be used alongside things like Gathermate to find these eggs, or also to take advantage of different respawns on different phases. So if you watched my Magcar video, then you will have seen that I used Cross Realm Assist to keep spawn times up as quick as possible by phasing onto a different server. So Cross Realm Assist can be used for that purpose. Now there are also lots of buffs which you can get which boost reputation gains. So first up there is the Human Racial, which is a 10% increase in reputation gain. Now this one isn't that important because a lot of you guys will have characters which you like to farm rep on, and they may not necessarily be a human. I'm just putting it out there. If you're starting from the bottom and you have a character which is a human and is ready to farm some rep, I would definitely recommend doing it on him, because humans with the 10% base reputation increase are very strong in the reputation farming meta, if that's a thing. There are also lots of different buffs which come around throughout the year from the different events that happen. The most common ones are the Dark Moon Fair ones. There is the Dark Moon Top Hat, which is a 10% reputation gain for 1 hour, and these can be bought for 10 of the Dark Moon Fair tickets. And then there's also the Wii buff, which is from the Carousel, and you can stack this up to an hour, and it also increases reputation gains by 10%. The Top Hat and the Wii buff do not stack, unfortunately. And then there is the Unburdened or the Grim Visage buff, which is from Hallow's End. And this is for 2 hours, which is quite useful. And then there is the Spirit of Sharing, which increases reputation gain by 10% and is obtainable during Pilgrim Bounty. So those are the main buffs which you can get for reputation boosting. Now I'm just going to go over some general tips and tricks which I use to maximize my rep farming potential, and these can also transfer over to farming items or mounts. So starting off, I use some certain keybinds when I am farming. So on my mouse wheel up keybind, I have an AoE ability. So when I'm running around with my fingers on the keyboard, I can just scroll up and I will kill anything in my vicinity. and I combine this with the loot Arang on my mouse wheel down. So when I go for a pack of mobs, I can mouse wheel up an AoE and then mouse wheel down and loot everything without clicking on any mobs at all. And this saves time and energy on key clicks, allowing you to farm for longer. And it is a small change, but it definitely makes a difference in farming speed and how long you can farm for. And following on from that, choosing the appropriate spec is also very important when farming. Speed and efficiency is everything, so farming in an inferior spec just wastes time. So I recommend setting your off spec to a fast farming spec. For example, I use Brewmaster because the statue does an AoE taunt pulse, which draws nearby mobs to me, so I don't have to run around and collect them all. I can stand almost stationary and kill everything in my vicinity. I'm going to put a list of what I think are the most efficient farming specs per class. This might differ and you may want to correct me in the comments, but I really can't reiterate how important efficiency is when you are farming. You don't want to get burnt out because you're not performing at your maximum potential. And why would you want to take extra time in doing something which is, on the whole, very boring, when you could get it done a lot quicker? So efficiency is key. Following along from this point, grouping is very important in certain farms, especially reputation. If the farm requires a group, definitely try your hardest to get one, because it can almost double or triple or quadruple, is it quintuple, your farming speed. I know I did some maths on this. I was testing it out when I was farming Goblin Rep for the Insane title. If I was doing it solo, compared to if I was doing it with 2 people, my reputation gain doubled. And with an extra person, it tripled. And so on up to 5. And this generally happens when the mobs are on forced respawns. So when you kill a certain amount in a certain zone, they all respawn. But it can also have its play in areas where there are just lots of mobs spread about. So grouping up is very important, and the extra hands really do help speed things up. So when Legion hits, garrisons are no longer going to be the grind fest which they were before, because there's just going to be no point in doing them. And because of this, I am going to be shipping all of my characters out of their garrisons and camping them outside certain raid instances, because a lot of the characters I don't play regularly. I'm basically stuck on one character now, because that's the character I'm pretty much going to be maining in Legion. And I'm going to be putting them outside dungeons and raids which drop mounts, and run them daily or weekly until I get those certain mounts. So I'm going to be starting off probably with Magister's Terrace, and place all my characters outside that. Every day I'm going to go onto my characters and run through the instance, hoping to get them out. And when I get them out, I'll ship them all off to the next raid. So this will increase my efficiency when farming that mount, and it also won't burn me out with movement times and other things like that. Obviously, if you're going to be logging onto a character and wanting to play it, you're going to be moving it around. But this is just general advice if you are going to be leaving a lot of alts behind come Legion. Now, you may be thinking, why don't you just do all the raids and all the dungeons on all of your characters every week or day? And that's because there's not enough time in the day to do things like that and make videos and have a life outside of the internet. So if you really focus down on a certain goal, get that goal out of the way, and then focus on the next one, you won't be blown away by the amount of mounts there are to collect or reputations there are to grind. Just take it one step at a time, and that's going to be my main piece of advice. Don't go in there thinking you're going to get everything done at once. It just doesn't happen. Focus on certain goals. Actually start them, because I find that starting it is the hardest part without a doubt, because you'll be sitting there and you'll be thinking, oh my god, like 41,000 rep, that sounds so horrible. But when you get started and you get to around Honoured or Friendly or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to take forever. But you've already done so much, and you'll be thinking, I don't want to waste that time I've already put in. I'm going to keep on going. So make sure you start and you make a good start, because then you will be less likely to give up. And then just focus and get that goal going. Take like an hour or 2 a day and just keep on going until the job is done. Don't feel like you have to get it done in a day. That's just not going to happen. Set yourself achievable goals and make sure you complete them. I guess this can be used for life advice as well. So yeah, life advice with Tom. Thank you very much for watching this video. If there are any more tips and tricks, leave them down in the comments. If I've missed out a lot, I'll probably make a follow-up video to this, because I find this kind of thing very important. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. See ya!